This is Tennessee Titans Today. I am Tom Downey, here to discuss Bud Dupree and whether or not he is the X factor for this team in 2021. That's the claim from Bleacher Report. They went through every team's X factor for the season, and they went with Bud Dupree, and I get it. And I think Bud Dupree himself also acutely aware of the expectations placed on him for this season. He tore his ACL last December for the Steelers. Despite that, got a bigger than I think most expected contract, because Tennessee last season, their pass rush, abysmal. They did not have nearly enough last season. Here's what Bud Dupree said recently. Quote, "It's no secret that they got me here for that, to help out with the pass rush. I put that on my shoulders, and I wear that hat while I'm working out in the offseason, while I'm rehabbing my knee. We all know what it is." And you know what? I appreciate Bud Dupree's honesty. That's a lot of pressure to take on, despite the big-time contract, for someone who really did break out the past 2 years, but is coming off the injury and is now being counted on to, in a way, save this pass rush a bit by himself. So make your predictions for me. How many sacks do you think Bud Dupree will put up in 2021? Hopefully better than the Vic Beasley, Devion Clowney disaster last year. But get your votes in. How many sacks for Dupree this season? Now, before the torn ACL in 11 games last year, Bud Dupree was playing really well on the franchise tag, mind you. 8 tackles for loss and 8 sacks. Early in his career, Bud Dupree was not being productive, all right? 4 sacks, 4.5, 6, 5.5. That's not bad. It's about 20. But in about the first 4 years, Bud Dupree had half the sacks in his career. The past 2 years, he's had the other half. The breakout finally happened for Bud Dupree in 2019. 16 tackles for loss, 11.5 sacks, and he looked the part of the guy the Steelers thought they were going to get when they spent a first-round pick on him out of Kentucky. Now, for the Titans, they do run more of a 3-4 front, and, it becomes 4 base linemen anyway and nickel, but whatever. Harold Landry, Bud Dupree are your core edge rushers. Danico Autry's kind of got some inside-outside flex, but probably more of a defensive end, much like I think Rashad Weaver could be edge 3 as well. He's got some legal stuff to work out there. I'm a big-time Jeffrey Simmons fan. I love him. Hasn't had his own breakout quite yet, but I think that comes this year. But either way, the expectations are very much for the defense, a defense that wasn't good enough last year, for a pass rush that was among the NFL's worst. The burden is now placed on Bud Dupree. That may or may not be fair, but he's getting paid quite a bit of money. So the Titans do need him to break out. So I like Bud Dupree as the pick for the X factor in Tennessee. But I want to hear from you guys too. Any player, offense or defense, who do you believe is this team's X factor in 2021?